But we're going to move on now to our first keynote session of the day. Now, this topic again is very interesting. It's digital learning and the new economy. And I'd like to invite to the stage Dr. Bahrullah Safi, Vice President at Acacia University. And now, Dr. Bahrullah Safi is also a member of the editorial and advisory board of various international journals and organizations, including Bangladesh Business Research Foundation, International Institute of Influencers India, and Global Ambassadors of Sustainability UAE. So please put your hands together, everybody, for Dr. Bahrullah.
Very good morning. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm Dr. Bahrullah Safi, Vice President of Acacia University, which is part of Westford Education Group. And we are into education from last 15 years. And under our umbrella, we have got 15 institutions and universities, and with the presence in almost 20 or 23 countries. So our organizations, we are majorly almost 60% online and 40% offline. We have campuses, and also we have online universities. So I thought of talking about digital learning and new economy. This is something which is most in demand, and something that in last 2 days, including today, in last 2 days, our panelists also discuss about online education, artificial intelligence, digital learning, and economy. These are the things, I think, which is very, very important these days, and lots of deliberation should be, delivered on this. Yes, I think it's here. Yeah, thank you so much. So you have seen that online learning or digital learning or a new economy, this is something that they have a direct relationship with each other. Because when you have educated workforce, when you have excellent workforce, they will perform very good. And that will lead to a development of your economy or the development of a country economy. So there is a direct relationship. That's why my focus will be more on digital learning. But when we explain digital learning, you can find out the relationship of digital learning with the economy development, either at the small scale or large scales that can be seen. And we know that digital learning is something which is empowered by artificial intelligence, machine learning, and internet. Without internet, I think digital learning is not possible. So let's discuss about the internet. Internet, we have seen that in the last 20 years, internet has changed a lot in many forms. It was so expensive first. Now the internet in most of the countries are, very cheap. A very good example can be in India. Like in India, there was a company that they introduced, free packages of internet. Now, like every child, even like in the rural areas, school kids, they have access to the internet because of that organization. Even in many of the countries in the world, the internet access has increased a lot, and it has changed everything that we see now. For example, a very good example can be education. With the help of internet, lots of development and changes are there in the education. With the help of internet, now we have seen online learning and digital learning, and even digital universities are formed, digital universities are there, digital business, digital online education business is becoming one of the biggest business in the world with the biggest revenue. I would say that here in my presentation, I will talk about a platform that they have 102 million students. So if you have got 102 million students in a digital online platform, that's the biggest business. Even though, like for example, our group, we are working with 450 centers in India and giving them online training, vocational training through an app. And that is possible because of internet. And the internet has brought so many things to us. Same way in the banking also, the internet has changed a lot, like in terms of your transactions, in terms of your online banking. There are so many apps. You can do online banking very quick. And that is the biggest change we see. Internet also has changed everything, the way we communicate and we talk. The best example can be during the pandemic. We were communicating with our teachers, principals, head of schools, with our employers, employees, with investors, stakeholders, through an online platform, through a digital platform. And we were doing business, we were taking the classes, even we have conducted the exams, and even we have announced the results. So everything has been done through the internet, through the digital platforms. That is how you see the biggest change, the biggest investment. So like for example, the taxi, you see the Uber and Ola, they are the fastest and growing businesses with using artificial intelligence and also using internet to bringing better services to the people. Or same way, like if you do online shopping, you don't need to go to the physical malls or the physical shops and do the business. You can just sit at home, download an app, and you can do your shopping, whatever you like. And even you get better offers. I myself, I'm using mostly online. I found online shopping more accessible, and it's so easy, and you can get better options and better offers. Even things you cannot find offline, you can find online. Like recently, I was buying a mobile phone for one of our friends. Like we have searched in the big malls, and we couldn't find that model, and we found it online, even at a lower price. And same way, like for example, the food industry has changed a lot. Like you can order any food you like, and that will be reaching at your door within a 15 or 20 minutes. So that is all the changes that we see is internet, and the internet has brought these things to us. Online learning is not something that has changed in the pandemic. It is not something that the growth we see is only in the last 2 years. No. Online learning has started basically first in US. Like in US was the first country that they started recognizing online education. Like recently also, most of the countries in the world, they do not recognize online learning. Still, the government is working to find a way and to make strategies and policies to recognize online degrees, online certifications, and online programs. But online learning has been growing so fast from last few years. Like you see here the changes of the enrollment. For example, the change you see in 2016, it is 21 million, where in 2017, 28 million, and 18, same way, for example, the 2021, 92 million students in a single platform. It is not a worldwide data, right? In a single platform, we enrolled that 92 million students. So this is because of digital learning, because it's so accessible. And during the pandemic, the parents, the people, the government, schools, they have realized that there is no way to accept it. And they have found it effectively, and they have found it that online learning is almost very similar to offline learning. And what we are looking for a result from offline classes, that can be obtained similar from online learning as well. And that is how the growth you see, amazing growth. I'm very positive about the growth of online and digital learning. Here we see that the top 10 countries with the most learners. No doubt US is first, because in US, what is happening, like if you have an online degree or offline degree, doesn't matter. It should be recognized by a specific body. If it is recognized, that's okay. It doesn't require that you have to be in a classroom or somewhere. It's important that your degree should be from a reputed place or an organization. India got the second place. Though in India, right now the UGC, which is a commission for the higher institutions, recently after pandemic, they announced that they can start, some top universities in India can start online education. and that can be recognized. Though in India there is a distance learning mode, people that they cannot attend full classes or full time, they can do a distance learning, Saturday, Sunday classes. But recently, even though there is a barriers in India, the government is working on with the institution, but still 13.6 million students enrolled through different programs, certifications, short-term programs and long-term programs, bachelor's and master's. That's amazing. So you see the other figures, Mexico, Brazil, China, UK, Cambodia, Russia, Canada, and all these countries. So this is few top countries, but there is no doubt, countries in Africa, countries in other parts of the world are also, very active in, when it comes to online and digital learning. These are basically top 10 countries by learners' growth. We have seen a very nice growth, amazing, outstanding growth by the number of students or the learners that they have enrolled. For example, you see 98%. Lebanon is 97%. So like after pandemic, certain countries, these countries have realized that online and digital learning is important, and we should not wait, and we should utilize the opportunities which is there. So the students from countries where pre-pandemic, like before pandemic, they were not more active. They were not more willing to do online learning or digital learning. After pandemic or during the pandemic, they started enrolling themselves in online and digital certifications and programs. One more thing, like reducing the gender gap. This is very, very important. We have seen that females or women or girls, somehow, due to some barriers, some problems and issues, they are not given the opportunities of attending the classes. Maybe it is due to some cultural problems, or due to distance problem, or due to any kind of problems, family issues. They may not, they do not have the opportunity. Every girls do not have the opportunity to attend the classes. But online digital learning brought them this opportunity. Like where in a classroom, like if the ratio is like 70% boys, 30% girls, now this ratio has increased. Now you can see that through online and digital learning, you can find more female students, you can find more women that they do online learning. This is one of the most important and the biggest benefit of online learning, which is, I think, amazing, and all the online institutions and stakeholders should be appreciated for this. These are basically the top careers among the learners. Learners invested high-impact career skills to become job-ready and improve their prospects in challenging labor market. This is all possible due to online learning. See, in the businesses, students started enrolling in communication classes, certification, leadership and management, entrepreneurship, business analytics, finance, technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all that. And they have also reported, like an increase in their performance, and they reported very positively that by taking these classes, they have skilled themselves and they have, shown the outcome what they have learned through digital and online certifications and programs. So that is amazing. See, 81%, 71%, 64%. So highly accepted, highly accepted. So online learning is not, for example, only for students, it's for business organizations as well. The business organizations started using online platforms to train their employees, to educate their workforce. They do not need to go through a very, traditional way of training their employees. They started enrolling their students. There is a company in India, they have a campus for their employees. Am I right? Yeah, I think it's a Wipro, or some organization is in India. They have a university in Mysore where they teach their employees. That is the biggest investment they have done for their employees. So that investment can be reduced by online learning. They can train their employees by online learning, and these are the trending skills for business learners. Very, awesome. For example, SAP and ERP, even Excel is something which is very basic but very advanced in nature. Like Excel will never stop. This is online learning for government, and same the government organizations can use. And these are some statistics that, that shows the positive impact that we have seen in the earlier slides. Here some, data that shows the positive impact. See, for example, the digital learning industry reached $350 billion in 2022. $350 billion, that can be, like the future prospect is $1.2 trillion. This is the biggest news for the investors. Those who are investors, they can invest in online learning and digital learning because the future of online learning is amazing. I mean, the future of online learning will be something even beyond this. And yes, that is possible with the digital and internet and everything. And 42% of workplace where employees are engaged with learning and developing also say their employees are highly engaged overall. 92% of employees would stay at a company longer if they invested in their learning and development. See, learning and development is one of the most important factors for the organizations, and there is a retention rate in the company is also an issue. People join the organizations and they leave the organization. And when you pick one person or select one person, it has cost. Like you have lots of cost. Even the organizations are hiring companies, HR companies, consultancies, to hire employees for them, and they pay for per employee. They pay $100, $200, $500. And when they pay that recruitment has a cost, and when the employer joins and he leaves the organization, that is the biggest cost. So how to reduce this cost? This cost can be reduced by learning and development, and how you can do the learning and development by digital platforms. Enroll your employees in different digital platforms. Google it today, you will find thousands of online certifications for free. Our organization introduced 1 million scholarships free of cost, which is called Coder Initiative, 1 million Coder Initiatives. We give 1 million scholarships around the globe, like mostly to developing countries in Africa, in East Asia, South Asia. These are our target countries. This is also the statistics shows that more companies with comprehensive learning programs have 218% higher revenue per employees and 22% higher profit margins. No doubt, in organizations where your employees are educated and trained and engaged with training and development programs, you can see a very good result, 218%. And a very good margin in profit. And also 42% of US organizations that have implemented online learning programs have seen increase in profit. No doubt. If you see the research and if you read the literatures, most of the companies, they avoid investing in training and development. Or they do the investment and, at a very, very small scale. They are avoiding investing, on employees. What they can do is, with online and digital learning, they can increase this. And they can use and utilize this, benefits. Employees with access to online learning are 81% more engaged overall. Engagement is very, very important for employees at workplace. So if you enroll your employees with online and digital learning programs and all, so your employees can be more engaged, in terms of they can do a self-learning and they can also, do their jobs better than those employees who are not engaged. And also one most important thing that on average employees with online learning programs spend 40 to 60% less time. Time is very, very important for us. 40 to 60% is a very big, percentage. Employees who are basically, doing things online, digitally, available, accessible, they can do very good. they can save 40 to 60% of their time and resources, because time and resources are very important these days. These are the few impact of online education, that online learning keeps you abreast of technology. It's making you, even during the pandemic, professors, people like us had a very difficult time to understand the platforms, to operate these platforms, efficiently, even though still we have, sometimes you are unmute, sometimes you are mute, sometimes voice is not coming, even sometimes you are calling an expert to come and solve your problem. But, we got some engagement with technology, we got some interaction with, technology that has increased our knowledge. Now, every one of us sitting here, though we are not from an IT background, but I'm very sure you know now more than what you knew in 2018 or 19. Now you know lots of platforms, now you know lots of, things related to IT and, computer and all. So that is one thing that has, changed, everyone's life. It's not only for students, it's for everybody. So that is one positive impact of online education. And we also see that online learning is an innovative collaboration tool. Because through online learning, you have many ways to collaborate, you have many ways to learn, you have many sources, you have access to the endless books, you have access to the endless resources. And that's making you to perform better. I have seen students that they were not doing very good in the classrooms. With online platforms, now they are performing very good. Their results are much far better now. And they are performance, even after the pandemic, now they go to the classrooms. Now the teachers notice that the students are becoming more, intelligent, smarter, and aware of the world, because the technology, the online classes give them an idea. For example, when you check how to use Zoom, sometimes we check in the beginning. When you Google how to use Zoom, you get lots of information related to technology and IT and everything. Sometimes if we have time, we read them. When we read them, we gain some knowledge and information, and that's adding to our knowledge. Second, other impact of online learning can be helps make use of downtime and improves motivation. This is very, very important. See, the downtime is something which is very important for students. Personally, my experience when I was in the university, we had one session, for example, from 10 to 12, or okay, keep it this way. We had one first session from 8 to 10, then we didn't have a class from 10 to 12, then we had a class at 2. Like there is a 3-4 hours wastage. Still, this practices in most of the universities, I have seen this practice is still there. There is students are wasting their time between the classes, between the classrooms, between the teachers, that they come and they go and everything. So with online and digital learning, they can utilize this downtime very well. Because sometimes what is happening in the universities, when you go to the library, there's so many students are there, sometimes you don't get access, or sometimes you don't get the right place to sit and study. If you have, there was a video, if you have a classrooms enabled with computers and technology and internet, students can use their downtime effectively, they can use their spare time effectively, they can learn, they can do the assignment, they can, do things which is important for them. And when we have students, they will also learn time management. When students learn time management, because they are the future generation, they are the change makers. When we have a society which is very good at time management, I'm very sure that will have a very positive impact in economic development. So that is how the relation you can find. These are the 3 major shifts you see that in digital education. First thing is funding mechanism for education. See, we have seen that funding is very important. Still, lots of institutions operate with fund that they get from the government or other institutions. In the future, even right now, there is a very big scope of, a very close relationship of organizations, government, industries, investors, bankers, and everybody. Because sometimes the government is giving the fund to the organization which is not having enough artificial intelligence, which does not have enough IT infrastructures, and that fund not utilized rightly. If the organization is funding those institutions which offers online and digital learning, I'm very sure that those organizations can reaches everybody around the, if it's in the country, around their country or around the globe. For example, we have thousands of students that they cannot attend the physical classes because of the cost of education. In US, still there is a very big loan is left. Even like in India, everywhere in the world, every student does not have the opportunity to attend the classrooms, this because of the cost. And though the organizations are receiving huge funds from the government, what I believe is if those funds is giving to the organizations which are in digital learning or which offer online programs, I'm sure that those students who are not able to attend the classes due to the cost, they can have the opportunity to attend online classes, they can do their online programs. So there should be, yes, I think I'm forward. Yeah, so there should be, new strategies, the policymakers, people who are responsible, they should work on funding mechanism because this is very, very important for the future of education and for the future of, students. This funding mechanism still, I see that now organizations are, introducing different funds. The other change can be lifelong learning and upskilling. Upskilling is very important. Now learning is not something, that you did schooling, bachelor, master, you done no, or PhD done no. You have to learn every day. You have to learn every time. Even though if you are learning one program, there is an update of that program, then again you have to learn. This is possible with digital and online learning. This is the biggest shift you can do. You can see by coming online and digital learning. So this is something that you can experience yourself. I'm very sure that right now we are sitting here, we are learning. Still we have got our master's or PhD, but still there is a scope for learning. So there is no specific time now. You can learn unlimitlessly and you can learn whatever you want. You have lots of resources. You can have access to everything what you want. Even you can get the memberships of different organizations, lifetime memberships of the organizations. They can provide you lots of resources. And for example, our organization introduced online professional development programs, which is free of cost. You can learn. It's something like, and these 200 programs are available on our website. You can check. So these programs are completely, free of cost, and it's for everybody. It's not like something like very important, I believe. The last change we see is changes in how and what we learn technology and education. This is something I really like about online and digital education because a very good example can be a science lab. Science lab is expensive first, and it is sometimes, materials are very expensive. Sometimes it has risk. If you are doing an experiment in a science lab, there are some chemicals, some hazards, some materials that may not be very good for students, even for teachers, for environment. With online and digital learning and digital apps, you can do the science experiments with using of an app. As many experiments you want, you can do that. That is the best part of digital learning. You do not need, you do not need to go to a physical science lab. You can do the same, for example, anywhere in the classroom, at home, anywhere you want. Just download the app. Apps are there, technologies are there, platforms are there. Just download it, and you just get the subscription or get the details of login, and use it. That's the best part of digital learning. And also, you see, you can visit a museum online or a hospital, like virtual reality. These are the best about online education. So with this slide, I think my time is up, and thank you so much for listening to me.